Welcome back to Dottie's Adventures. We are on day 16 of converting this Peugeot Partner Tepee wheelchair adapted vehicle into my little micro camper, my little adventure wagon. We are on day 16 since we bought the vehicle. We have not been working on it every day. We do have other things that we need to be doing, but so far we've taken out the winch. We've adapted the wheelchair ramp so that we've got a nice step and a garage. We've put the floor in. We've created some garage storage. And today it's all about the furniture. So we're going to be trying our best to make these two free IKEA Besta units that I picked up off FreeCycle fit so we can make a kitchen and still allow us enough space to put a bed in. So that's the plan for today. Come and join us.
So did you want to do the aluminium trim, or do you want to...
That's a point, yes. Before we get started, we've just got a little bit of trim to put around the floor because I didn't get round to doing that when I put the floor down. So we've just got some aluminium angle. I think we'll do that first, and then we'll sit down and have a think about how we're going to make these units work. 120. Plans for the kitchen area. We've got these two Besta units that we picked up free off FreeCycle, and I've had them in every possible configuration. What I've decided is to have them this way around. This is where the doors would have been, but the doors opened sort of this way. You can see where the hinges are. They kind of open the full length, which is no good because the bed's going to be here and the doors won't open. So the plan is to leave them where they are like this, have a little gap in the middle where I can put these little boxes. So I've got enough space to have some boxes in there. Put a shelf in here. My water system will go on the top shelf, possibly the bottom. I might have to think about the weight. And then I'll have a shelf there and have baskets that will be stopped from coming out, either with a lip on the shelf or a bungee. Because I want it really country cottage, I'm just going to put a curtain across the front. We're going to put a worktop on top that'll fit sort of shaped into the edge of the window. And we're also going to make use of the doors here and have them as pull-out tables on the side, both this end, so I've got one coming outside and one the other end, so when I'm inside I've got a bit of extra storage space. I've also padded out the handle for the ramp because inevitably I cracked my shin on it this morning and it hurt like hell, so it now looks like a mummy. It's bloody good, isn't it? So rather than scribe straight onto the wood like we did with the floor, for the worktop, we're making a cardboard template first that we can fiddle around with, because this is way more complicated, I think, a shape than the floor was. So Mark scribed it and cut it with scissors, and it looks like a pretty good fit first time. We're getting there. That actually took a bit longer than expected. I don't know why. We should have known that we were going to be playing the hokey cokey with the worktop the same way we were with the floor. However, it is in. What we need to do now is chamfer or router the edges rather, so they've got a nice curve. Seal around the back edge so we don't have any gaps. I'm waiting on a couple of brackets for the flip out worktops, so we're going to probably leave this overhang the depth it is until we know how much we want. Same on the other side, but the bases are secured. They are secured, and we're ready just for tomorrow to crack on and get it finished. Good morning everyone. Well, it's been a couple of days since I last picked up the camera. Dottie hasn't had any work done on it at all for the last few days. We did spend all day yesterday in A&E, casualty, emergency department, whatever name it gets called these days, with my mum-in-law, because we thought maybe she had a urine infection. So, you know, that was a whole day at the hospital that we didn't get anything done. And yeah, I don't know how much footage I'm going to have to make a video, so this could be the shortest video yet, But we did do a little bit of work on the worktop, as you've seen. The next job is to finish off the kitchen cabinets. I've got some ideas for what to do with them, but I'll share them as we go, just in case we change our mind on the way. And then the last thing really is the bed, and then I can start getting her spruced up with, you know, the finessing touches, and then take her on her maiden voyage, which I'm thinking might be back up to my my birthplace up in Newcastle. I feel as if, because I've named her Dottie after my mum, her first trip out with me as a camper should be back to where I was brought up, and show her around where my mum Dot spent her adult life. I don't know, I'm being sentimental, I guess, but that's my thoughts, and it's a beautiful part of the country anyway, so I can get her up and introduce her to the coast, on the Tyneside coast, around Whitley Bay, Tynemouth, all that sort of area. So that may be the maiden voyage plan, and hopefully that will happen in September if I can get her done, bearing in mind that that's only less than 5 days away. I don't think that's going to happen, but hopefully before the end of September we'll have her on the road. So anyway, let's see if I can actually get something done on here today to record to share with you. Okay, so we've got the cabinets in place. We're just trying things in to make sure that they're going to fit. We've taken the worktop off. We've made it the right length or width, whichever way you look, the right amount across there, across the top. And Mark's now just going to put a radius on the corners so it's not sharp, and also router the edges round so then again they're not sharp and angled. We've just used the lid of this tin to give us the radius, because it just seemed to be a good size and it was right next to us, wasn't it? Sometimes the right thing is just to hand.
Plug it in. Now, before we go any further, I think we should put it in to see
how it looks.
If that needs radiusing. I think it might, but I want to offer it up to have a look.
Okay. That side I don't think does, but this side would probably benefit, because that's going to be quite sharp if you catch it getting in and out, isn't it?
I think a radius there would be...
Yeah, the other end is perfect. Nice and flush. But yes, I think you're right. That side would be better. That looks great.
It's coming along.
Yeah.
So what we've done, we've given this an overhang, but we haven't taken it right to the end of here. But...
that's all right. I think it looks neater.
I think we're going to perhaps get some of this plastic and put it back there.
Yeah, make something.
Cut some out. You've got it there. You're not going to use it. Use it to fill in the blanks.
This is what I was meaning earlier. Literally just used a...
There's a Kenko coffee lid. And I think that tin was a dog food tin. That'll keep my Allen keys in. There's definitely a supermarket food theme going on in my... But I've noticed this for a lot of things. You can pay 2 or 3 quid per storage container, but actually we have storage containers everywhere. Every time we buy
ice cream tubs, yeah,
a tub of ice cream,
Outdoor.
You get a nice robust tub.
Are we cheapskates or are we environmentalists?
We're environmentally friendly. We're reusing. Reuse, recycle. Yeah.
This is the bit I'm fascinated to see. This is where you're going to router the edge, isn't it? And give it a sort of curved edge.
A radius. So, that little wheel is going to follow that edge.
Yeah.
And then this radius,
it's going to be cut.
There's the cutter is going to cut the edge. And then this is going to run along the top. And so that is my stop. What I do, you can adjust these 2 little stops.
That's really lovely. That radius on that back corner, definitely the right thing to do.
And I just blended it off slightly.
Yeah.
I could have continued it, but you'll never notice that. I didn't know where to stop, so I
No,
just blended it
that's
off.
perfect. I love that.
There we go. Yeah.
I tell you, the other thing that we need to do is put a hole in it, because I think I've decided I do want the sink inset.
Right.
Let me just get the bowl, because actually if it's
You see, so again, you just about to cut the hole
before
in
we
the bowl before
sand and varnish.
Yeah,
Right.
before you screw it down and everything.
Yeah, let me get the bowl. You do the honours.
So there's more play than I expected, but no, it's fine.
But it'll be sealed in.
Oh yes. In fact, I'd be tempted to seal it from both sides. Seal it and then turn it over and seal it from the side as well.
And then we've got the blank to hopefully go in. Will that go inside?
Oh, I see.
Or is it too big? How easy is that to make fit?
Well, you just have to cut it again with the jigsaw, really.
I've watched so many where they've cut them out and then the top's just fitted so perfectly in. I wonder if it actually does or if it's just for the camera.
No.
So we haven't got a sink, but I am going to be using this old stainless steel salad bowl. This is the waste. Mark's going to put a hole in the bottom of the bowl. The waste will go underneath, and we've got a pop-up plug that is going to go on sort of on top and through, and that's going to be the sink. So Mark's just going to drill the hole in the stainless steel bowl.
There we go. That was much easier than I was expecting.
Where'd it go? Oh, it's in there.
Yeah. I might need to file that out a bit. I don't know how well that's going to fit. It threads on. It's such a nice fit. It actually threads on, which is not what we need. But there we go. Easy, Tiger. Sticky old stuff, this, I tell you. I'd have done better actually to have this halfway up before I started. I used to believe that if you tightened that nut against these rubber washers, you should get a watertight seal, but it regularly fails, so I always use sealant.
It's messy old stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
And then do you need to put silicone on the inside of there before the plug, or when the plug goes in? Do you seal that bit as well, the underside of that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, so we'll put that to one side then to go off.
I mean, they're quite robust now, but if we try and put it in the worktop now, we can't do anything else to the worktop.
No.
And risk damaging this. I think we should do all the other.
Do you think we should sand and seal and wax the worktop before that goes in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't wax it. Thinking, will that prevent the... No, I would wax it. Actually, yes, I would wax it.
So you're not trying to wax right up against the edge of the bowl?
Yeah, yeah, and the wax would be another good. The silicone, it shouldn't affect the silicone. Yeah. Where's that come from?
No, I think that's that all the way round. I should also just add that turns out mum-in-law is absolutely fine. All the tests were clear, but I thought I would just very quickly kind of share what our concerns were. So Mark's mum is nearly 94 and she's quite frail. And on Saturday, a couple of days ago, she was very, very confused and having sort of hallucinations, imagining things that weren't there. And she does have some sort of mild dementia, age-related dementia. So she is sometimes a bit forgetful and she repeats herself. But it's very unusual for her to have been that confused all day. And when we did a bit of research, realised that actually urine infections in the elderly don't always show up as they would in a younger adult. So they don't necessarily get the pain when they wee, they don't get that burning sensation, they don't get abdominal pains. What it can often show up as is severe behavioural changes with things like confusion, delirium, hallucinations, total confusion, muddled thinking. It can sometimes show up as vomiting, being sick, lethargy, just a complete lack of energy. And she doesn't have a lot of energy a lot of the time anyway, so that wasn't really noticeable, but the confusion was hugely noticeable. So we took her to the emergency department because it was Sunday and it's also a bank holiday weekend, so we knew we probably couldn't get her to see a GP before Tuesday. And we'd also read that if you don't get immediate help for a UTI, that it can deteriorate quite quickly and it can potentially become sepsis, which of course is very, very dangerous. So we took her yesterday. The staff at A&E, they call it the emergency department in Peterborough, were absolutely brilliant. They really looked after us. Yes, we were there a long time, but they were very thorough. They checked her bloods, they checked her urine, they did a chest x-ray, they did a head scan because some of her symptoms, excuse me, in a minute, let me get my hair out my eyes. Some of her symptoms could also have been an indicator of a TIA, which I can't remember what it stands for, transient ischemic something or other, mild stroke. Mild stroke is a bit of a misnomer, but that's basically what it is. So it could have been signs of that. Thankfully, as I say, everything was absolutely clear, which is good and not so good because we don't know what triggered the episode, so we don't know really what to look out for to make sure that we can do the best we can to stop it happening again. However, the fact that there was nothing more sinister going on was brilliant. So we've got her back home, and she was in good form when we got home last night. She downed her way through fish and chips because we hadn't eaten. We stopped at the fish and chip shop on the way home, so everything was good. So I guess the reason I'm sharing this, which has nothing to do with van conversions, is because it's an important thing to know that if somebody who's old suddenly shows behavioural changes, you really need to get it checked out straight away, because it could be, as I say, either a mild stroke, it could be a chest infection or a urine infection, and they can deteriorate really, really quickly. Okay guys, so I think we're going to leave it there for today. It's been one of those days where it doesn't look like we've got much done, but actually I feel like we've got a lot done. So we've managed to figure out the sink, we've got the units for the kitchen secured and in place, we chopped them down so they'd fit better. Yeah, it's just been a lot of sort of niggly little bits, but it's all coming together. So I think in the next episode we'll start to see something a little bit more finished coming along. But that's it for me for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please consider hitting the like button and perhaps hitting the subscribe button as well. That way when I put the next video out and you can see the continuation of the camper conversion, you won't miss it. And if you've got any comments, any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below. I do enjoy reading them. And a huge thank you to everybody who has left comments of encouragement and support. I kind of really need it, as I've already said numerous times. This is brand new to me. I couldn't be doing this without the help of Mark. He is just brilliant. He just knows kind of what to do, and I haven't got a clue. But I'm learning so much as I go along. And one of the things that I'm finding is a lot of YouTube videos, kind of the how-tos, they assume a certain level of knowledge, and I have none of that basic knowledge. Even, I think I said in the last video, something as simple as knowing how to get the drill bit out of the drill. I didn't even know they didn't have a key anymore. So chuckless drills, who knew? So I was looking for the chuck key. So, some of the stuff that I'm learning is really basic, and I might in a future episode just do some of the really basic bits that I've learned, like how do you know which type of drill to use? How do you know which type of saw to use? How do you know how to make sure that the saw is at the right depth? These are things that, for anybody who has done any kind of DIY at all, you probably take for granted. But when you've never done anything, you're starting from absolute scratch. Sometimes just the basics can floor you. So let me know if that sounds like something you'd be interested, especially if, like me, you've never done anything like this before and you've got those stupid questions that I'm asking as well, because I'm guessing I can't be the only person in the whole wide world who doesn't know these things. So if it helps me, hopefully it'll help you as well. And if you've got a question, even if it is a really basic and simple one, please ask it in the comments, because I will ask Mark to help me answer it. If I haven't already learned, and I may be able to answer it too, but I doubt it. I'll probably ask Mark. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.